What up? What up? What up? It's Wednesday night, a little past 8:30, but right about that time. So time for another Wednesday edition of the Eagles Elite Podcast. So since last week we had something happen. You may or may not have heard about it. The schedule got released for next season. So I think we may have a couple of things to discuss regarding that. We'll see how that goes. Of course, we always have some breaking news. Something's been happening in the world of Philadelphia Eagles. When you're one of the better teams in the league, that's how it goes. And then, of course, we'll be doing our season review. We'll be joined by a special guest to discuss the Minnesota Vikings game from 2022. So be prepared. Another great episode is coming. It's time to bring on the squad. What's going on, White?
Yes, sir, man. Another week, ready to get into it, talking nothing but Philadelphia Eagles football.
Yes, yes, yes. And of course, we're also joined by the Eagles Diva.
What's going on, Bar Gang Nation? Back for another week. Let's get it.
Yes, 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 yes. So, before we get into everything, there's one thing we need to do because it makes us all happy. Let's go.
The kick is away, and the kick it's good! And the Eagles win!
It's hard to come to South Philadelphia and leave here with the win. You just don't come to Philadelphia and leave here with the win.
Eagles fans everywhere, this is for you. Let the celebration begin.
Don't know about y'all, but special place in my heart for that special place. All right, so ladies and gentlemen, y'all know how this goes. It's simple. It goes the same every week. Breaking news for the Philadelphia Eagles. Wyatt, what you got for us, bro?
Yes, sir. I really only got one piece of breaking news from Philadelphia Eagles here. We signed wide receiver Charleston Rambo. Played in Oklahoma with Jalen Hurts. Got some pretty good tape on him. We also waived tackle Jared Williams as well.
Absolutely, absolutely. Don't forget also we have that schedule, and we'll just bust into that. We'll go through that game by game, just talk about what we think is going to happen in these games. Some interesting matchups, of course, but hey, that's what it's like when you're the Eagles. Like I said, we made the Super Bowl last year, so anything less than winning the Super Bowl, it's going to feel uncivilized for us.
Yeah.
Not necessarily true that we can do it, but we're going to give it all we got. So Shady Sports Network, shout out to our partner, Shady Sports Network, who also streams the show. He definitely was an XFL wide receiver, which is the reason why we signed him now after their season was over. So glad to get some of that talent. One of the things that I would like for us to start being aware of is the XFL, the USFL, these other leagues, because some of these guys, and not a lot, but some of the better players from these leagues are getting opportunities on NFL franchises. And I'll say one thing now about Charleston Rambo. He is a better pass catcher than Quez Watkins. Mm-hmm. Now, if Quez wants to step it up and prove me wrong this year, I'd be more than happy to say, hey, Quez, apologies for my blasphemous comment before the season started, but I can only base it on what I've seen so far. Charleston Rambo catches the ball. Quez Watkins sometimes catches the ball. That's why Olamide Zaccheaus is here, as well as other guys that were drafted that we talked about last week, undrafted free agents, because you haven't put your stamp on being the third guy. You want to do it? That's cool. But in order to do it, you got to show us what it is. Shout out to our user on Facebook. Looks like you haven't set it to where we can see you for comments on lost my train of thought there for a second. We can see you for comments on YouTube yet, but definitely Rambo is a good pickup. Love it. Shady Sports Network, another big comment here. 22 players signed in 3 days since XFL season finished. Rambo only won the Phillies so far. Yep. So Phillies only got one, but one that could be impactful. Like why I said the connection with Jalen Hurts is always important because that's QB1. That's the guy for many years to come. So we'll see how that works out. Hopefully it does. Either one of you have any thoughts on Charleston Rambo?
Go ahead, DV too. I was gonna say pretty much it just pretty much shows what they think of Quez at this moment with all these pickups, especially like Rambo coming out of the XFL and have that connection with Hurts. They're not entirely sold on Watkins. He's had a lot of different opportunities last year to make big plays, and he made one which we will talk about later, which is probably the best play of the year for him. But that's about it. So we need someone that's going to be able to step up in those big moments. I mean, from the tape that I've seen from him, so I mean, it looks like he could be that guy if he has to.
Yeah, definitely. We'll see how everything plays out throughout training camp. That'll be one of the many battles we'll be keeping our eyes on, as well as linebacker, right? Who ends up actually starting on the defensive line, different positions. So definitely things we'll be keeping our eyes on. Eagles Diva, that you want to add any thoughts?
Yeah, I just think it's a plus. I mean, on top of the fact that we lost Zach Pascal as well, so just being able to fill that role and being able to have more depth at the wide receiver, because we can't just keep depending on AJ and Devontae, and sometimes they get dinged up. So you got to make sure you got enough backups that can come in that slot and make plays. And I think that going forward, the XFL will probably be picked up more, because you got to think about it. You really don't have to use that much cap space on them. So I think that will probably be more of NFL's options as it comes down the road in the years later.
That could definitely be something that happens moving forward. I would be excited to see that myself. So we are going to transition here. Any other thoughts, any other pieces of news, anything that you guys want to get out here before we get into the schedule?
So I just want to know why GJ is still talking about this. That's all. Get off my chest.
I don't know what dude's issue is.
I mean, is he still mad or not? Like, are you? I mean, I guess he didn't think that we were going to go find 3 more hymns. Like, I guess he really thought we was going to struggle and not. Nah, bruh. So you still mad, but it's okay. It's all right. We'll see you on the other side. See you.
Yeah, but I mean, he acts like we did him dirty somehow, and it's like, dude, we offered you like a contract twice, and you turned it down. Like, and we moved on. What do you expect them to do? They're not going to wait for you forever.
So when it comes to CJ for me, man, I'm putting him in the same boat moving forward with Deebo Samuel. Because why is Deebo Samuel constantly got the Eagles' name in your mouth?
Right.
You still whining about your boy getting hurt. Why you didn't block for him?
Right.
You know what I'm saying? If you're so concerned with get hurt, why you went in there blocking for him? Come on, Deebo. Like, you're a solid player, right? You're not a great player yet, but you're a solid player. But come on, man. Why name always in your mouth?
Always.
You know what I'm saying? Are you a hater, or are you just really kind of closet? You wish you was here. I'm starting to kind of feel like you and Michael Parsons on the same level. Michael's being less negative about it, but I'm starting to feel like both of y'all really want to wear the green, the Kelly green, we're going to say next year. But, hey, everybody can't wear the Kelly green, bro. So you're going to have to deal with where you at. Enjoy Javon Hargrave. Hopefully he's the missing piece for you. But I will say this right now, based on how I feel, I don't feel that there's anyone in the NFC as currently constructed that can beat us. The only team I feel like that has an opportunity to do so if they catch us on a not 100 day is the 49ers. Other than the 49ers, you look at Dallas, the Vikings, who else made the playoffs last year? Oh, everybody else from the East. And then ain't nobody in the South. We ain't got to talk about them. There's nobody in the South that's a complete enough team. So, I mean, honestly, I don't feel like there's anybody that's going to be able to see us in the NFC this coming year. Could happen. Anything's possible. Nothing's 100%. We got to stay healthy. We got to play. We got to actually execute properly. We do have 2 new coordinators. But I feel like the East is ours to have. The NFC is ours to have. We just got to go grab it. And with that being said,
as we're going to talk about it, it's hard schedule.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. My bad, y'all. I hit the wrong button there. So we've got the schedule released. Thought about doing the video, but then I said, you know what? The best time to really talk about this schedule for this year is with the squad, right? Let's get on here. We got the show. We'll have our community interacting with us so we can talk about everything that's happening, and we're going to make it happen. So let's get it. So I'll start off with the preseason games. They don't mean a lot, but at least mentioning them. So the first preseason game, we got the Eagles and the Ravens. Worth mentioning, I'm not expecting to see a lot from our starters. This will basically be one of those games where a lot of young guys will get opportunities. Rookies will get to play more. Second team, third team will get a lot of the action. Our second game is the Browns versus the Eagles. Based on what I saw last year, this will be the game where we'll see some of the starters play maybe a quarter, maybe some plays or whatever. But this seems to be like the dress rehearsal now because we only have 3 games. Then the third preseason game is against the Colts. No disrespect, but that's definitely going to be our young guys playing, even if they're playing their starters. So not a lot of thoughts from me on the preseason games, but we'll start with you, Diva. Did you have any thoughts on our 3 preseason games?
No, I mean, because that's really everybody fighting for a job, and people make and who not. So, no.
Absolutely. Why? Any thoughts?
Nah, man. Yeah, I mean, Eagles Diva said it. She said the exact same thing. It's people fighting for a job. Hopefully, they're not playing too many starters that long. It seems like the Eagles are, all in on keeping these players healthy as possible. And I mean, it starts there preseason.
Now, I do want to see some plays. Don't get out there and be one of these teams that we don't want to play the starters at all in the preseason, and then get in the first game and get spanked. So let's not move that way.
Yeah, I mean, I want to see like the Kobe Dean out there, Jordan Davis, the rookies and everything. I want to see them out there doing their thing going into the season. But you can keep the vets off. Try to keep Hurts out of harm's way.
Yeah, let Mariota get out there, and then the other backups.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, like I said, I just want to see him maybe a quarter in that second game, right? I want to see him with some live reps. Obviously, some new players, especially at the wide receiver position. So just want to see him get a little in-game chemistry with them. But I don't see a need to play him a lot. Like I don't see a need for him to play every game, him to play, half of one of the games. But I'd like to see a good quarter or so out of him just to make sure everybody's rocking and we're good to go.
And that's against the Browns, the second game?
Yeah.
That's not a bad game to play the starters against, though. That's a good defense. I mean, that'll get the offense somewhat
like a quarter,
situated, settled in a little bit before the week 1.
Definitely.
And then depending on how it goes, maybe slide a little bit into the second quarter, but not even to halftime. Just depending on how time's going.
Definitely play them close to the end of the preseason because like you said, you don't want to go in and then you ain't played a few games and you all everywhere.
We saw a lot of teams shoot themselves in the foot last year, and I don't want to be one of those teams. But September the 10th, 4:25 p.m., they're going to be retiring, I believe, Brady's jersey or number or something with Tom Brady. We play the New England Patriots in New England. I'm just going to say this real quick, and the floor is all y'all's. As far as the Patriots go, for me, you don't have a quarterback, you're not going to beat us. Sorry.
Well, I'm hearing Tom might go back to the Patriots, so he said he's not done. So
he gonna suit up
here, then we might get a recap. But
well, if he does attempt to go back, that's going to nullify his deal that's in place for him to become a part owner of the Las Vegas Raiders, because you can't be an owner and a player. So he's gonna make a lot more money as an owner than he would as a player. So we'll see if he's that enamored with going back to the Patriots to get small fries compared to what you would be getting as an owner. We'll see.
Yeah, I mean, it would be so sweet to come in here and just ruin Tom's retirement party in New England. Brandon Graham getting a couple sacks maybe on Mac Jones, give Tom flashbacks, some PTSD a little bit. I don't know. It would be sweet. So, I mean, they got TikTok boy over there now. Maybe James Bradbury or Slade, get up on him a little bit. There's some revenge in this game a little bit. And so, I mean, I mean, I fully expect us to go out there and do our thing though. Week 1, you know, I'm not
Patriots
afraid of
always
Mac
cheat.
Jones or anything.
Yeah, I don't care who the quarterback is. I know we're gonna
Yeah.
do the thing. It doesn't matter. But it'd be nice to, ruin Tom's last little year if that's what he decides to do. Because man is very prideful. So
Yes, sir. And the Patriots are still cheaters.
yeah,
Yeah.
Always will.
Years.
So, ladies and gentlemen, we have Fuji hopping in with us now. Fuji, what's up, man?
Hey, sorry, jumped on late. Got caught up doing a couple things. Good. How's everybody doing?
Everybody's winning.
Yeah, we were just discussing game 1 on the schedule for the regular season between us and the Patriots. I believe so far us 3 have us beating the Patriots.
Agreed.
Fair enough. So I'm going to be keeping a little tally of mine. So at the end, it's not going to work. Ladies and gentlemen, when you want to keep tallies, it's a good idea to have something that actually works to write to.
Right.
Yeah, it's a wonderful thing. I'm learning on the fly here. It's all good. I'll find something. The 1 win so far. All right, so we're gonna head on to game 2 here. Oh, if I again, what I do?
It's Vikings Thursday night football, September 14th.
There we go. See, you got to have your squad with
two
you.
years in a row. We got Vikings in week 2 on prime time.
I don't want to sound like a whiner, but I kind of feel like, why did they screw us 2 games within like 4 days? Out of the shoot.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I do not like that.
I didn't even look at see that. Yeah, you're right.
Yeah, I do not like the late, especially a later game and then turn around and play.
Right.
But it is the Vikings, so it's kind of like, why you do us like that? But you did throw us a bunny at the same time.
Right.
Vikings in prime time is
the white Dak Prescott. So
yes.
Yeah, in prime
In prime time.
In prime
time, he's worse.
Garbage.
Than he normally is. So
I got that as a dub.
Yeah.
No doubt.
Yeah, I think that's going to be a dub as well.
Yeah, definitely have that as on topic as a dub as well. I just don't feel like, first of all, we don't know what's going on with the running back situation there, right? They may have a running back, Dalvin Cook, he may be traded by then. A lot of rumblings out there, and when I hear a lot of smoke, I feel like there's some fire around a lot of smoke. So,
somebody posted yesterday on Twitter that the Vikings took Dalvin Cook off their website and added Madison, the backup.
That's the number 1.
In the place of Dalvin Cook. So, like you said, where there's smoke, there's fire, obviously.
man, and the interesting thing is, man, whenever Cook has been injured, which is a lot,
Right.
Madison has came in and put in great numbers. He's been my go grab later in the draft for years in fantasy football, and just plug him in because you know he's going to play those games that Cook gets hurt in. He's great. He's been great for bye weeks as well. So if he's going to be the starter, that's going to remember that strategy. But hey, after 4, 5, 6 years of it, at some point it was going to change.
I mean, I heard there were rumors on draft day or draft weekend that they tried trading him, but I don't know what they were asking for, but I don't know if that's because Howie went out and got DeAndre Swift. But the Eagles were looking at Dalvin Cook.
Yeah, but Swift's a better option.
Yeah,
Swift's a better option. He's a guy that gets hurt a little bit too. But like I said, when we got Swift, as long as he can stay healthy for about 10 games, and the games that he's missed are not the same as the ones that Gainwell or
Boston Scott.
Penny miss. Because Scott's been pretty consistent. Gainwell's not been hurt a lot. But yeah.
Yeah. But I mean, no matter what scheme they go with or whatever, I mean, it's all the same. You got to just put pressure on Kirk Cousins, and he's going to screw up. That's what you got to do. So, I mean, I don't know what Joe Desai's scheme looks like as of right now, but hopefully it involves putting some pressure on that quarterback and going for them sacks.
All right. If it's not, he's going to be out of here quicker than Jonathan Gannon, I hope.
Yeah.
I like Desai.
Hopefully quicker than Jonathan Gannon.
Yeah. I like Desai. If you don't get it right, you got to go.
We better have 300 running yards that game, 300 or 400 running yards. As many running backs as you got, there's no reason why we should not have at least 150, 200 yards.
Agreed.
Yeah.
I mean, he talked a good press conference last week, so
yeah, he impressed.
Hopefully
we're going to talk about the press conference in an upcoming show, and we're also going to, after we get a little bit of the preseason and we can see what's happening, or at least in training camp and OTAs, we'll talk a little bit about what we think this offense, this defense is going to look like under these guys, and all that good stuff. But great point there, Fuji, because I definitely did watch that as well, and like you said, sounds good. Let's see what happens.
Yeah.
All right, so we'll move on to the third game, and we have the Eagles versus the Buccaneers. And the great thing is, because of the games in like 4 days of each other, we have a nice long break of 9 days between this Eagles game and the Buccaneers game. So what are you
Monday
guys'
Night
thoughts?
Football?
Yeah, that is Monday night as well, correct. So what are your thoughts on that game against the Succaneers?
I'm a
quarterback.
I was gonna say exactly what you were gonna say, Diva's like, hey, who's their quarterback? It don't matter. Like Baker Mayfield, who else over there?
Yeah,
like,
I forgot.
Not worried. Dub City. We 3-0 right now.
I definitely got the dub for that as well. Then
same thing with this next one.
Then we have the new look, in air quotes, Commanders.
Sam Howell.
Yeah, we got Sam Howell. They got a new OC in there, Bieniemy. So we're gonna see
Jacoby Brissett.
Oh yeah, Brissett could possibly play at this point. It depends on if he gets ahead of Howell or not. But we have the Commanders coming to Philly October 1st. We know we played them twice, so this will be the game in Philly.
I think that's only one of the 3 1 o'clock games that we have.
Yeah, that's wild too. I was gonna say only 3 1 o'clock games.
That's very wild.
But you know why we only have 3 1 o'clock games? Don't forget the new caveat with scheduling,
the flexing and everything.
Is that for the whole? That's not just like week 10, right?
No, it's the whole. So for the whole season,
a couple different things.
Wow.
Yeah, but for the whole season, you can't flex 1 o'clock games. That's why we only have 4. Those 4 1 o'clock games cannot be flexed. They will stay at 1 o'clock. So if you have a 4 o'clock game, you can be flexed into either a Sunday night or a Monday night game, depending upon the different rules. And actually, I may have those up if you guys would like to go over them. Yep, I do have those. So with the scheduling, and this is just for people to get an idea of what's happening. So flexing, all right. Monday nights can be flexed now. Okay, so obviously that's part of it, but just want to make sure I spelled it out. All right, so Monday nights under the flexing thing for Monday night, Thursday night games are exempt, so they don't count for this. But only Sunday afternoon games are eligible to be moved to Sunday or Monday. So you can be moved to a second Thursday night game if you play at 1 o'clock. But if you don't, but you can't be moved to Sunday night or Monday night.
Right.
At least for now. That could change in the future, but that's the way it's set up now. For Sunday night football, you can only take place twice between weeks 5 and 10. So only 2 of those games can be flexed from Sunday night football. The NFL is at the NFL discretion weeks 11 through 17. So if they want to flex every week, they can. If they don't flex at all, they don't have to. Monday nights, you can't flex until week 13, but there's no other rules. So week 13 hits, you can flex every Monday night game if you wanted to. That's interesting. That's important for everybody to understand, because when you're looking at your schedule, any game that you play between week 5 and 10 that's not a Thursday night game or a Sunday night game, 2 of those could be flexed. So you could be flexed again into a spot there. Then also 11 through 17, all your games that are 4 o'clock games could be flexed to Sunday or Monday night after week 13. 11 and 12, it could only be Sunday night, but after week 13, either. So
that's a lot.
Yeah.
That's a lot to take in, just the whole bearings of it, especially playing Monday nights, like being shifted to that as well.
Yeah. And then Thursday nights, you can play twice on Thursday nights now. So we have one Thursday night game scheduled. We can be flexed into another Thursday night game. So my hope is if that does happen to us or anyone else, that they flex them after their bye week. That would be my hope if you're flexing people into Thursday night, because real talk, you don't want to have these guys playing Sunday and turning around and playing Thursday unless you're doing, like for us doing it week one, it kind of sucks, but I don't think the Patriots are going to be much of a threat, to put it nicely. So I think it won't be an issue with slinging that back over and making that kind of roll another way.
Especially Tom Brady did.
Yep.
As that opener is.
All right, we got a couple of comments here, so let me go ahead and pop those up. So we got Key hopping in with us. What up, Key? Appreciate you checking in with us. Kyle Trask.
Yeah.
The quarterback for the Bucks. And then Chris hits us with the Jacoby Brissett. He says Howell will definitely start.
Yeah, I figured.
And they say they basically put their franchise on pause to see how he does. Big news with the Commanders, by the way. I know it's an Eagle show, but they finally kind of closed the process of them being sold. So that's big news for the Commanders. They're going to have that opportunity to, get some new ownership in, which I know a lot of the fans are going to be happy about.
Oh,
yeah, they certainly should be.
I know the owner all too well. Guy that owns the Philadelphia 76ers right up here in Philly. Josh Harris also owns the New Jersey Devils. So you got the Northeast corridor, the trifecta.
I just hope the Eagles break the streak next year and make things happen, because that's my Philly team. All right, so I think we're all agreeing on we're 4-0 right now.
Yeah.
All right, and then we have what I would say, no disrespect to the Rams, but disrespect to the Rams of Bunny. We got the Rams next.
Yeah.
I ain't even going to go to detail. I'm just going to simply say the man Muppet himself, Matthew Stafford, they're getting rid of all their receivers except for the one guy that he wants to, the quarterbacks there seem to want to throw to. Cooper
Ramsey
Kupp.
gone.
Yeah, everybody else they didn't want to throw to. No Ramsey, so the defense is going to take a hit. I'm definitely going with 5-0 so far.
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Especially the only thing I say it's a win, but 3,000 miles away, but it's really not a fact. It's not like you got to play. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
It's not like you got Seattle in that.
Yeah, it's a 4:00 game, so they won't be, they won't have to play early, but yeah. I'm not too worried about the Rams. So here's where things get a little interesting for me.
Mm-hmm.
We got a little stretch here that it's going to be a little brutal, right? Starting October 15th. So I do agree 5-0. October 15th, we play the Jets with Aaron Rodgers. And they got a pretty solid group of receivers there.
Good defense.
Pretty decent defense there. Salah's kind of getting the guys he wants. But you know what? Even with all that, 6-0 is what I got. What about you guys?
Well, I'm not impressed, because we all know once Brett Favre left and went to the Jets, that was the end of his career. Probably into A-Rod's career. He has been playing for a very long time. And then you got to just get coordinated with a whole new coaching staff. You still got some players that came, but then you got to get used to all new players. Defense, I don't know. Dub for us.
Yeah. I think it'll be our first real test of the season. And I mean, it'll probably be a close game, but I mean, I could definitely see us coming out of there just because we have more continuity, from last season into this season.
I'll say it's all, the hype of Hurts versus Aaron Rodgers. I mean, the Eagles are undefeated against the Jets, 4:30 on a Sunday. I'm actually might be going up to that game, so 6-0.
Nice.
I just can't see I just can't see those New York Football Jets.
Yeah,
we are going to New
first
Jersey.
Loss. Yeah,
or we are going to New York, New Jersey, whatever you want to call it. But I mean, that's not far at all. They could ride a bus there.
Yeah,
they could ride a bus there and be good. October 22nd, which is going to be Sunday Night Football.
Mm-hmm.
We have the Dolphins at home, which is a game that I may be interested in going to. Got to talk to everyone and some other people that want to go, but that may be a good game in October to kind of
Mhm.
circle. It's a late game, so you got time to do whatever during the day. You got time to chill. Um,
That's a Sunday
yeah,
night game? I didn't
yes,
realize
it
it.
is. Yep.
Yeah,
Oh, so
Sunday
it
Night
was a
Football.
4:30.
So I actually have this as our first loss.
Yeah, I was gonna say I'm gonna mark that as our first L too.
Yeah.
Like they have a
Um,
stacked defense. You got
I think
Tyreek
for
Hill.
me,
Depends if Tua is healthy too.
that too. That is a big.
Yeah, I'm assuming two is healthy, but I have that because I think that what's going to happen, we're going to play against the Jets. The Jets are going to be able to show Miami some things that are going to be successful against us. And Miami has that speed at wide receiver, and we do have an issue with getting a little long in the tooth at a cornerback. So I think this is a game that can be exploited.
Hmm.
I think we'll have to make some adjustments afterwards. But yeah, I definitely have that as the first L for us this season.
Yeah, I can see that.
Hey, I mean,
He's not convinced.
everybody has it.
I got a dub. I think it's gonna be a close game, but
Run it.
I got a dub.
Run it.
It's a great analogy you point out. Cool, because when I was on my show Saturday, we kind of did a little bit of the breakdown of the schedule, and you think Tyreek Hill, you're probably like we were talking before the Eagles, the Jets probably could be a little bit of a test for the Eagles, and the Jets, Dolphins, to me they're kind of like a little, I don't want to say the 49ers. I mean, they seem like they got the defense. They got the not as good as the offense, but Tua, you don't know who's going to show up if he's even going to be playing. But actually do have the Eagles winning this game.
Hey,
Okay.
I don't have a problem.
Yeah, I
with
think it's going to be the L is just going to be one of either the Jets or the Dolphins. I think it's going to come between one of those two teams there. But I don't think we're losing both of them. We're going to win one of them.
Right. But then again, the history, the Eagles, they always have a tough time with the AFC teams. I don't know why, but
yeah,
for some reason.
And the next week we have the Eagles at the Commanders. I'm going to go ahead and, for me, I'm going to mark that as a dub. I don't trust Sam Howell against my defense, and I feel confident that we're going to get a dub there. So I'm going to roll with a dub and a season sweep of the Washington Commanders and their new ownership and all that good stuff.
I say the same thing, man.
Oh no. I got an L on that because I thought we had a dub on that one and we just broke down. I don't know if we break down against them.
Right.
All right. Possible.
I want to go with the sweep here. NFC East, no matter how bad or good anybody is, there's always that NFC East rivalry that will always go on, no matter who's good or who's bad. I just have the Eagles pulling this win off.
Speaking of NFC East rivalries, November 5th, Arlington football team comes to Philadelphia at 4:25 p.m.
Dub.
A lot of chirping by the Cowboys about the fact that Dak hasn't lost to the Eagles in however many years and all that hogwash. I'm gonna let y'all go first, and then I'll say my thoughts at the end. So Diva has a dub. What do you got, Fuji?
I want to say this is where the schedule starts to get a little rocky. I mean, you're getting into the meat and potatoes right before the bye, or right after the bye, I should say. But this is where the middle of the season, the schedule is really going to take shape to see. Bragging rights, NFC. But I want to say this: I think the Eagles split with Dallas, but I want to mark this as a loss. right before the bye.
All right.
Okay.
And why? What about you?
I agree that we're probably going to split on the season, but I don't think they coming into Philly and beating us though. I'm
We're
gonna
gonna
take the dub on that one.
I got to sweep in Dallas too. Pittsburgh, Dallas.
Oh,
Yes, we should have swept them last year. So yeah, I got this as definitely as a win against Dallas. Then we have my birthday game. I'm gonna call it because it's 2 days before my birthday. Eagles, Kansas City Chiefs, Super Bowl rematch. I believe that is.
I like that week 10 bye. By the way,
I do like that too. Yeah,
I like that
Just
week
back
10
I
in the
believe
bye.
middle.
is that Monday night? This doesn't tell me.
Yeah,
Yeah, that's
Kansas
Monday
City
night.
is Monday night.
Yeah, that's a
Yeah,
Monday
Monday
night.
Night Football.
What the second? I believe I saw second or third time that there's been a rematch of the Super Bowl on Monday Night Football. So very rare. Should have started the season out, but I digress. You know what? I think I'm going to be going to this as one of the Eagles games I'm going to, and I'm going to be doing an excessive amount of chirping. From when I get there until I leave, win or lose. I really don't like the Chiefs. Like, I used to be like, all right, Chiefs, but I really don't like the Chiefs. And I want to mollywop them. I don't think we will mollywop them. But I'm going to say coming off our bye, which we played very well, and having an extra day for a Monday night game, I'm going Eagles. Let's go.
Okay. Yeah, I mean it's hard to argue. I think coming off that bye as well, and plus, everything with the Super Bowl, I think we're gonna come out here and try to just. I don't think it's gonna be a demolition or anything like you said. It's gonna be close, but I think we're gonna come out on top in this one.
By a field goal.
Yeah.
Knowing that we have a better defensive coach, I'm gonna definitely go with a dub on this. If we would have had Gannon, I would be like,
a couple of these dubs I have early might be L's if we still had Gannon.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, it's gonna be a close one. It's probably still gonna be a shootout between Jalen and Mahomes. But yeah, I got a dub.
Okay.
What about you?
I want to say close one, but little retribution from Super Bowl 57. I think the Eagles pull this one off.
Fair enough.
That's what's up.
We'll go reverse order on this one. So we'll start with you, Fuji. Bills, Eagles, November 26th, 4:25 p.m. game in Philly.
At the link. 6 days coming off a high emotional win. This is, like I said, this is where the schedule's really going to get tricky with these next 5-6 weeks coming off.
Mm-hmm.
I say the Bills pull this one off. It was a high emotional game coming back from Kansas City, short week. 6 days of rest. It might be a hard fight, hard fought battle in Arrowhead. So I want to go with the Bills on a loss.
What about you, Diva?
I got a dub. I think it's gonna be a close game, but just they do got a good defense. But the way that Josh Allen, I don't know, he's just weird when it comes to playing quarterback. He likes to turn the ball over a lot unless he works on that. He's not really good at reading defense as well. So it's going to be a close one, but I got us winning.
Mm-hmm.
What about you, Wyatt?
Just the way that the schedule is panned out here, I mean, I can agree with Fuji here. I think we're going to take an L in this one against the Bills, especially coming off that one against the Chiefs, and with everything else lining up here, I can see us losing to the Bills here. It'll be a close one, but I can see us taking the L there.
Yeah, I've got that as an L, unfortunately, as well. There's no way we're going to beat the Chiefs, Bills, and 49ers back to back. And
yeah,
that's a rough 4 games. And I mean, you could throw Seattle in there if you want to. I don't feel like Seattle's as strong as those teams, but they're another team. coming out the Cowboys game, which I feel like we could lose. But yeah, I am going to go with the Bills beating us. So I have 9 wins, 2 losses right now. Then we got the king of the chirping, the chirpiest chirpers. I'm gonna call them the San Francisco Chirper Niners.
40.
All we've been hearing is chirping from the team, chirping from the players, chirping from the fans. We'll probably hear some chirping from the coach.
No, he already complained about his wife.
Yeah, so
don't bring her next time.
Chirp. Yeah, a
Leave
whole
her
bunch
home.
of chirping. Chirp, 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 chirp. All right, what do you guys have? Diva, we'll start with you.
I got an L on that one. I think they're gonna come back and get revenge just by all the last tough games that we got. I don't know if we're gonna be able to pull that one off too.
All right, Wyatt, what about you?
Doesn't matter what QB they have, they getting an ass whoop in this game. Doesn't matter. We coming out here and we going shellac them.
What about you?
After
Fuji?
coming off the L against the Bills, they're going to come back and shellac the 49ers.
It's bulletin board material. There's still Debo just can't let up and be quiet. So like Wyatt said, don't matter who you throw under center. I just think the Eagles are going to bring the kitchen sink and smack them up and down the field. So Birds with the W.
I'm gonna go with an L here because I think they're so focused on us that this is their championship game. This is their Super Bowl, and I think it's not going to be our Super Bowl. So I think they're going to beat us. In this game, close, I believe, but I think they're going to win. And then all the people in San Francisco are gonna be like, "Yeah, see, we beat you, quarterback. Yeah, if we had a quarterback, we would have won the Super Bowl. Yeah."
The 41ers.
And then they get it again in the playoffs.
No, what's interesting, not to interrupt anybody, who were the 49ers playing the week before this game?
Dallas? Are you talking about this year coming up? I don't know.
That could be a trap game for them looking ahead.
It could, but I think they're going to be so focused on trying to prove that they should have beat us.
Right.
They'll almost break their bodies in half to win this game. This is the 49ers.
The Seahawks divisional game.
You could throw Pretty Boy, Trey Lance. Who's Sam Darnold?
Sam Darnold.
Also,
Brock Purdy. Quarterbacks I am not afraid of for 500, Alex.
All it's going to take is Hassan Havoc Raddick to set the tone.
They got the Seahawks back. They got before us and after us.
Wow.
Yeah.
So that's
So I got us with 3 L's right now. And then we're moving on to the game I've already told you. I got a sweep in Dallas. I probably am going into this game with my buddy. He's a big Cowboys fan. He's been wanting me to go to a game with him for years. So I have us getting this dub because it's time to smack them in the face twice in a year and shut them up. And hopefully Rain Dakota Prescott plays both games and catches these 2 L's. Get these hands.
all right.
Go ahead, Wyatt.
Oh, me? I think we're going to split the series with this one. I think we're going to take the L in Dallas on that one.
Yeah, I got us taking the L too. I think we're going to split.
I'm going to go opposite. I say we win this game on the road.
Let's get it. Like I say, man, 2-0 against Arlington this year. That's the 2-2-0 for me.
Right.
All right, so I got us with 3 L's, 4 games left.
Yeah.
All right, December 17th, we play the Seattle Seahawks. 4:25 games, so like 125 for them, so no complaining about it being early. We play the 49ers at 4:25, so no complaining about it being early. We play the Rams at 4:05, so no complaints about it being early. And that's what I like because I don't want these teams to have an excuse. So Eagles, Seahawks, Fuji will go with you first again. Who you got?
Oh, coming off a big win, going across country up Pacific Northwest. I want to pencil this as a loss.
All right.
I got a dub.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I got a dub too. I think it's going to be close because it seems like we can never play well in Seattle.
Right.
But I think it's going to be close, and we're going to finally do it somehow.
This was hard, but I'm gonna go dub. I was leaning like literally. I've been leaning on tie all day, but yeah, I'm gonna go dub. Since it's
Tie.
I've been leaning tie, right? Because I was like, I got to pick one or the other. But we gonna win or we gonna lose. Stop playing. So I got a close win for us. All right, then Santa Claus is giving us a wonderful present for Christmas. We play our little brothers. I have a win.
Yeah. I got a dub and 2 touchdowns for Boston Scott.
Yeah, I got 2 touchdowns for Boston Scott and 1 for Gainwell, and however many else for the other ones, because we're gonna run that ball.
Should be.
Yes.
I'm gonna say seasons beatings, of course. They'll be across the board.
Fair enough. Fair enough. Then December 31st, New Year's Eve,
Arizona
Cardinals, 1:00. So they'll be able to cry about having to play us in the early game. Early, late, you suck. Your quarterback doesn't care about football. He cares about Call of Duty or whatever FPS game just came out. Your best receiver doesn't even want to be there. Your coach, I believe, is a better coach than a coordinator, but that's not saying a lot because he was not a good coordinator.
Yeah.
I am going to go Eagles. Want to make sure they remind Gannon that you suck, and this is the perfect opportunity to do so. So I definitely am going with a dub with that one.
Yeah. I'm saying the same thing. They're going to expose Jonathan Gannon.
Dub, and the defense is gonna run all over that offense. Like run.
Arizona will pack it in. They'll be
They
far distant memory way down in the basement of the NFC West. So that's a win.
All right, and then the season finale, January 7th. The Giants. We don't know what time when it is, but we have no reason. We'll have no reason to play by then. Giants will. I'll give us an L on that one because Marcus Mariota is not going to beat the Giants' number ones.
I had the same thing. We're not going to be playing anybody, so I'm going to say we're going to take an L on that one.
Yeah, that's going to be a pack. That's going to be us playing like the Cardinals are going to do all season and packing it in.
Stupid. Yeah, I got an L for that one. We won't be playing nobody.
Yeah, that's a split.
Yep. So that's the one NFC East game I have us losing. I'm very confident that we're going to go through the division and do our thing. So I do see that we have a comment here from someone saying, of course, Rod, Patriots fan, Patriots minus 21. I'll be honest with you. If you give us 21 points against the Patriots, I still may take that. That's how little I think of the Patriots.
Just drop the hammer.
I would definitely give the Patriots 14 points in that game with no problem. You know why? We're better than you and we know it. That's why.
Not sold on Mac Jones.
Yeah, I'm not sold on anybody in that building that's not named Bill
Oh.
Belichick. And
what?
I'm still sold on him.
Here's another. Not to cut you off.
Oh,
A
you
little
know.
flavor to that week one. Juju Smith is up there, so
Oh yeah, you weren't here.
maybe
We did
him
that
and
one.
maybe he'll be chirping
Yeah.
with Bradbury again.
It's probably not a wise decision, but Juju doesn't strike me as a wise guy. So him making a bad decision does not seem like that much of a surprise.
Right.
So
I got
we're
us
good.
going 13-4, man.
I have us going 13-4 as well. Yeah. But like I said, this could change based on what happens with other teams, injuries, stuff like that. But at this point, I got us 13-4.
Now, I'll say this with the schedule. As always, I'm in the 12-5, 13-4 range, but
Yeah, 12-5. I take that.
Yeah, I take that too.
one of these games is always a clunker that you should win, but you never know.
That's true.
There's
You always have
always
at least one
there's
of those.
always that one, like the Washington game last year. Like
But it better not be I know one thing. It better not be against the black Dak Prescott. That's what I do know.
Right.
Oh,
But not.
excuse me, the white Dak Prescott. It better not be against him. That's what I do know. All right, so we'll go ahead, guys, and hop on over and do this game recap. All right. Change here. So you know what? We're gonna do this plain Jane. We're gonna do this with plain Jane. Let's go. So, game recap. We got the Minnesota Vikings, Philadelphia Eagles in 2022. Ironically, week 2. Eagles won this game, of course, 24-7 to go to 2-0. So, Diva, I know that you like stats. So let's start with you. Talk to us about this game and your thoughts on this contest.
It was a beautiful game, especially on offense. Jalen Hurts had 333 yards, 26 out of 31 passing. He connected for 11 attempts. And this was the game that Wyatt was talking about where Quez Watkins actually had a decent game. He caught a 53-yarder. And we had 2 rushing scores as well as 57 yards on the ground. AJ Brown also had 13 yards. Devontae Smith caught a pass. So it was a very good game well around. The defense held up their end because we weren't able to translate any more points from the offense after the second half. But the defense held us to only hold them to 7 points. So it's a very good game.
Oh, Fuji, any thoughts on this one, sir? Well, of course you have some thoughts on it. What are your thoughts on this?
I was at that game. Great game, warm weather. The place was rocking. All I could say is big play Slayer shutting down Justin Jefferson. I believe the Eagles had a couple picks from Kirk Cousins, doing his thing, turning that ball over.
3. Slay had 2 and Maddox had 1.
Slay should have had like 5, man. Like he had like 2 more in his hands. It's crazy.
Yeah.
But the Eagles just dropping the hammer, coming out and putting win number 2 in the W column.
Quez even did a little kick return in that game. He had 2 kick returns for 13 yards as well. All right, Wyatt, what about you, my guy?
Yeah, man. Pretty much we were doing what we needed to do on offense, like just to start the game. Hurts was slinging it. He was doing what he needed to do with his legs. The 2 touchdowns that he had running, he was pushing through. He was trucking, especially like the one I think was like 15 or 20 yard run, and he like bulldozed through 3 guys to dive for that, end zone. So, that's one of those games where it's like, all right, Hurts could be that dude. I mean, it was second game of the season. That was the question on everybody's minds going into the season. It was like, okay, this guy, he could be the dude. I mean, 333 yards passing. Miles, he had like 80 yards rushing, but I mean, that was spread around pretty decent between all the backs. We were doing what we needed to do down the field, but I mean, like we were going to be talking about going through these recaps, in that second half, we didn't put up any points at all. I mean, it was the defense, they were doing their work against the Vikings, but we weren't able to do anything on offense. I mean, we were able to move the ball, but it would seem like it was always something. I mean, the field goal was blocked, and Aaron Sipos had to, chase the dude down and luckily tackle him before he got to the end zone. But I mean, and then you have the tipped Kenny Gainwell pass that got intercepted. That wasn't even like on Hurts or anything like that. It was just, I don't know. They just weren't able to get it done as far as on the offense in that second half. Luckily, Ganna's defense was doing their thing, though, to keep the Vikings from coming back.
If I recall, I don't even believe anybody scored in that second half.
No.
It was all first half scoring.
Yeah, and it's not like we weren't moving the ball. We were moving the ball pretty much every drive. It was just always something that happens at the end of those drives in that second half. But we did what we needed to do. We put pressure on Kirk Cousins, got a couple sacks on him. And, once you put pressure on Kirk Cousins, he starts making those boneheaded decisions, and that's where all those interceptions come into play. Shout out to Avonte Maddox on that one pick, too. He got up there. Like, I've never seen that dude jump that high in game before, other than that pick, man. So, I mean, shout out to him. And it sucks that he did get hurt, like, I think a game after that or two. And that's unfortunately when he's out for a while. But, this was an amazing game because we didn't know, everybody was hyping the Vikings up going into this, this matchup. And then turns out we were the ones that were coming out there. Everybody was talking about.
Yeah, because remember, this was during that stretch where the Eagles weren't good enough for everybody, right? We couldn't beat anybody, and everybody was going to be us. We were at kind of that point early in the season where, now you got to play Minnesota.
Yeah, it was just the Lions week 1.
Yeah. Right. So, yeah, we kind of were at that point, which I enjoyed quite a bit, I'll be honest, just because, it's nothing like stuffing it to people, giving them the work and saying, hey,
big time.
Let's not do that. Let's not do that. So, Hurts, like Eagles Diva said, 26-31, 333 yards, 1 touchdown passing. He did throw a pick as well. He did have 11 rushes for 57 yards and 2 rushing touchdowns. Sanders had 17 for 80, Wyatt said. Boston Scott, 4 for 19. Gainwell had 2 for 7. They didn't score touchdowns, but definitely helped move the ball and help get us to the point where we needed to be. It's very important because what we saw this season, and it started week 1, was that the running game was going to be important, no matter if it was one specific person or if it was by committee, because you have to be able to stop the clock. You have to be able to keep the other team's offense on the sidelines. And that's how you do it. You run the ball. So that was something that I feel like we discovered, because I don't know if Shane Steichen was aware of that before this game. I definitely know that my buddy Slick Nick didn't seem to be aware of that last season too much. Well, the season before this one too much. So that was comforting to see them actually go that route. A lot of carries, something I definitely wanted to continue and did continue for a lot of the season. As far as receptions go, Big Dallas Goedert led us in receptions for this game. He had 5 for 82. He averaged 16.4 catch. Devontae had 7 for 80. He averaged 11. AJ 5 for 69, averaged 13. Quez 2 for 69 and a touchdown. So they averaged 35. Pascal had 2 for 14. Gainwell had 1 for 11. Sanders had 3 for 6. Scott even had 1 for 2. So just spread the ball around really well and did something that we need to do a lot more of this season, and that I wish we had done in a certain game to end last season. But I digress on that one.
And I think we should be able to, especially with picking up Swift and Penny and all that. That's a decent 1-2, and then you throw Boston Scott and Kenny G in the mix. I mean, if they utilize them, it should work out well. And then you have, of course, all the weapons and on receiving and everything. Yeah,
because right now they have Gainwell listed as the number 2. I mean, I'm not saying that's going to last, but I was looking at the where everybody was with first, second, all that. And right now, Gainwell's number 2. But like I said, we still have the offseason to go, so a lot of those things could change as far as where people are sitting right now. But this was one of the more complete games that I feel like that we had, especially in the first half. This is the game that gave us that second quarter murderers mantra, because we really took it to the Vikings in the second quarter. I did feel this was another one of those games where I did wince at the fact that we kind of took our foot off the gas in the second half.
Agreed.
I think we need to do more of continuing to play, even if it's, more basic plays, but just continuing to play in the second halves, because I think that would have prepared us for what happened at the end of the season. Another not as good second half as first half, and it seemed to be something that was consistent with us for last season. And I think this is the game where it started at. Nothing against the coaches, because I mean, obviously they're doing what they think is best to try to save things and surprise people late in the year. But the way we started the season, we were never going to be a surprise. We're going to get everybody's, big punch. Talk about Dalvin Cook. He only had 6 rushes for 17 yards. Kirk Cousins had the most rushing yards for this team. 2 rushes for 20 yards. That's how much we really dominated them defensively. The Thielen had 4 catches for 52 yards. Justin Jefferson, Big Daddy, Big Dog, Big Bark, 6 catches for 48 yards.
Yes, sir. As
You
it
know,
should be.
Yeah.
Slay shut them down. No
Yeah.
doubt.
So yeah, it was a good game. I felt like overall, I felt like we did what we needed to do. I felt like we got a needed win. We were able to, dominate the rushing game, show what we could do. I feel like we did it really well, and I just feel like this was a jumping off. Because I mean, even as a fan, there had to be a part of you, for some of us at least, not for me, but for some people, that was like, oh man, there was the Lions that we beat, and we know how the Lions have been in the past. So it's kind of like, oh,
Right.
whatever. But then we got them to the point of like, all right, this is it. We're doing it again. This is the Vikings.
Right.
Vikings are supposed to be a better team than them, so we're still doing it, loving it. So just excited that we were able to continue and kind of let everybody know, man, who the Eagles were. You can't be undefeated for 5 weeks if you don't win a second game. So
Right.
very
Yeah.
important, I feel like. Major part of who we are, who we were, and establishing the identity. A lot of pieces coming together from offense, defense, special teams. So probably one of our better special teams games, because special teams sucked this past season.
Yeah.
Just hopefully
I don't know
it's-
why we didn't get a new coordinator there, but
Right.
doesn't make any
Hopefully-
sense.
Just hopefully it's a different outlook this year.
Hopefully. 'Cause, I mean, it could have been a whole different thing in that last game if you would have covered a little bit better.
Right.
Oh yeah, we're definitely going to spend some time on that last one when we get there. For sure.
I ain't ready for it. I'm glad it's not for a while. I ain't ready for it
It's
yet.
going to be a while before it comes up, but yeah, it's a tough one.
But still a fresh wound.
Yeah, still burns a little bit. Yeah, this is of course our time of the week here as we begin to wind the show down, where we do our cheap plugs, ladies and gentlemen. So I'll set it off. Shout out to the Shady Sports Network. We are being shown on the Shady Sports Network as well. Great resource for people who are interested in football, not just NFL, but they cover all the professional leagues, indoor football leagues. They cover USF, USFL, XFL, those leagues like that as well. So they're very versed in football. So great fit for the Eagles League podcast, because we're all about football, because we're all about the Eagles, and the Eagles are a football team, right? And then several other places where you can find me. I'll just name the play callers, sportstalk.com, Friday nights, 7:30 p.m. Eastern Daylight Time. And Wyatt, what about you, sir?
Yeah, I mean, everybody can find me on Twitter at Wyatt Regard. Also, my other show is Cinema Trip Reviews. You can catch me on YouTube and wherever you get your podcasts, and also on like Instagram and Twitter.
Eagles Diva.
You can follow me on Facebook at Sierra Cobb, or you can follow me on Twitter at Sierra Cobb M1.
All right. And last but of course not least, Fuji, talk to us.
You can find me on Facebook, Mike Fuji Firmando. You can also find me on Monday nights from 6 to 7 on the Sully Squad, actually on a new network called Out of the Box Sports Entertainment. Just started an affiliation with them this past week. Also, you can reach me on Twitter under Fired Up Fuji.
All right, so ladies and gentlemen, this week I didn't use any brands. I'm very proud of myself, but I'm a little disappointed in myself as well. But that's how it goes for weeks, right?
Right.
I mean, we did a lot of talk, right? We talked about the schedule. We talked about the game, got things rolling, kind of let everything be known what we were doing. You got a Hey Mike. I'm going to post next week. I didn't grab it in time today, but how, if you are watching on Facebook, how you can let us be able to see you. And also, if you do watch us on Facebook, we definitely encourage you to hop over to YouTube, youtube.com/@Eagles Elite Podcast, so we can build that YouTube channel up. But definitely appreciate everyone that tuned in, everyone that catches the replay. Shout out to Shea Sports Network one more time, give them one more pop for us. And with that, being said, any last thoughts from the crew?
Till next week.
Fly Eagles fly.
Fly Eagles fly.
And go Birds.
And with that being said, we out. We'll be back next week.